Imagine opening a yellowing small-town phone book today, Thursday, March 26, 2026.
Okay, a physical phone book. I'm with you.
Right, so you're flipping through the pages, just casually looking for, I don't know, a neighborhood plumber or the address of a local bakery.
Just mundane, everyday stuff.
Exactly. But right there, just tucked between these incredibly normal local listings, you find the complete, highly complex blueprints for a quantum computer.
Wow, that is that is an incredibly jarring image.
It really is.
It's just this complete collision of two entirely different scales of reality,
Yeah.
just forcing the everyday and the highly advanced into the exact same space.
Yeah, it's completely unexpected, and it is exactly what we are unpacking today for you on this deep dive.
It's a fascinating subject.
We are looking at this digital enigma, really. It's known as the Big Island Reporter.
Right, owned and published by Mark Wood.
Yep, out in Kailua Kona, Hawaii. And our mission today is to figure out how this single platform acts as this wild mosaic.
Because it really is a mosaic.
It is. It somehow blends deeply local, tangible Hawaiian life with like cutting edge global artificial intelligence.
And not just AI, but these grand, almost abstract, futuristic visions, too.
Exactly. So to really understand how this wild mix actually functions for the user, I feel like we have to start at the foundation, right?
We do. Before we get to the quantum computer blueprints, we really have to look at the phone book itself.
Right.
The site anchors itself fundamentally in the physical, tangible world of the Big Island of Hawaii. I mean, it doesn't start with the abstract.
No, it starts with the dirt, the ocean, the people.
Exactly. And it paints an incredibly vivid picture of that physical anchor.
Yeah, we're talking like magnificent sunsets over the Pacific, deep green rainforests, incredibly diverse marine life.
The volcanic landscapes, too.
Oh yeah, the volcanoes that literally define the geology of the island. It's clearly designed to pull you right into the sensory experience of the place before it does anything else.
It is highly visual, yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop at the scenery. What's fascinating here is the depth of the cultural dive.
Right, it's not just pretty pictures.
No, the platform acts as a genuine cultural hub. It highlights things like traditional hula dancing and local musics.
Which is awesome. And they spend a lot of time showcasing the unique cuisine of Hawaii, right?
They do. They really explore this incredible historical fusion of Polynesian, Asian, and Western influences.
Like the origins of fresh poke.
Yes, poke, the cultivation of local tropical fruits. It treats the culture as a living, breathing thing.
They also make a specific point to talk about local artisans, people doing traditional lei making and wood carving.
Which really grounds it.
It does. But what really stands out to me is that they delve into the history and the real everyday struggles of the indigenous people of Hawaii.
Right, it's not just a shiny, sanitized tourist brochure.
Exactly. There is a real attempt at cultural preservation and acknowledgement of the complexities of island life.
Acknowledging those historical realities and ongoing struggles, I mean, it adds a massive layer of authenticity.
It prevents the site from feeling like a superficial trap for vacationers.
Spot on. It grounds the platform in a gritty, honest reality. And then once that reality is established, they layer on the practical, everyday utility.
This is where it functions like that highly localized directory I mentioned with the phone book analogy.
Yes, you see very specific, hyper-local shout-outs. There are spotlights on everyday businesses.
Like you can find information for Dixon 76 in Kona to get your car looked at.
Right, or read up on Big Island coffee roasters.
They even have real estate listings featuring specific names like Realtor Lance Owens.
We do. And they offer this module called the Features Cube, where local realtors can place their housing listings directly on the front page.
Okay, but here's where I have to push back a little bit.
Go for it.
If I log on to find a local mechanic, right, or check housing prices, and I'm suddenly hit with, like, geopolitical peace manifestos or intense AI discourse,
You're going to be a bit confused.
I might think the site has been hacked. I mean, how does smashing this all together build any sort of trust?
That is the crucial question, and it speaks to the psychology of how the site operates. You might assume it feels like a hack, but the platform explicitly commits to embodying what they call the Aloha spirit.
Okay, so how does that translate digitally?
Well, they use that hyper-specific utility, the Real Estate Features Cube, the coffee shop spotlights, to establish a baseline of deep geographical trust.
So you go there because it reflects your actual physical neighborhood.
Precisely. It establishes a digital environment that feels familiar and rooted.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
So because they accurately represent the guy who fixes your car, and the history of the land you stand on, you're more willing to trust them when things get a little weird.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
They build the trust locally, and then they execute this complete whiplash-inducing pivot.
It really is whiplash.
It is. They take that local reader who feels comfortable and grounded and pull them straight into the bleeding edge of global technology.
Because suddenly you step out of the local coffee shop directory and you are slammed with their secondary tagline, which is literally, AI is the future. You're early.
It is a massive parallel focus. It's not just a side category tucked away in a tech menu.
Right.
It is the engine of the site itself. The Big Island Reporter isn't just writing opinion articles about artificial intelligence.
They are actively building it and aggregating it for you to use on the spot.
Yes, they have interactive tools built directly into the site's interface.
Like the Big Island Reporter AI assistant, which is powered by a system called Icado, right?
Exactly. And they actively encourage the user to click and interact, to actually test prompts right there on the page while they are browsing local news.
And if we connect this to the broader picture of where tech is heading, their tool called AnyModel is incredibly relevant.
Oh, AnyModel is huge.
Yeah, for you listening, AnyModel is an AI aggregator service built right into the platform.
And through a single subscription, it offers the user access to multiple major AI models simultaneously.
Which is crazy convenient. We're talking ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Llama.
All in one place.
So it's less like a standard software subscription and more like hiring a panel of distinct experts.
That's a great analogy.
Instead of forcing you to choose between like Netflix or Hulu, it's like this site hands you a master remote control for all the major AI brains at once.
Right, because you don't just get one answer. You get a boardroom where ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini are all sitting at the table.
So if you want a complex coding question answered, you might lean on one model.
But if you want creative writing, you switch to another. You don't have to pick a lane or manage 5 different website logins.
You just use their portal.
Exactly. It recognizes that the future of AI isn't likely going to be a single monopoly ruled by one company, but an ecosystem of different models that excel at entirely different tasks.
And they apply this exact same synthesis approach to the news itself with a tool called News Court, right?
Yes, News Court is fascinating. It's an AI tool designed to provide what they call the full story by synthesizing complex news topics from dozens of different sources.
And News Court doesn't shy away from heavy hitters. I mean, it pulls together opposing viewpoints on highly charged issues.
Very heavy topics.
Yeah, everything from the war in Gaza and the war in Ukraine to U.S. crime trends and Trump-Putin peace discussions.
And just to be completely clear for you listening, we're not taking any sides on these political issues.
Absolutely not. We're just impartially reporting on the capabilities of the site and the heavy topics this AI tool covers.
Right. It essentially forces you to look at the raw, synthesized data of an event rather than relying on a single biased editorial from one network.
The mechanism behind it is critical, right? The AI reads dozens of articles on the same topic, strips away the loaded adjectives and the partisan spin, and identifies the core factual overlap.
But, and this is so important, the platform itself recognizes the inherent gravity and potential danger of using AI for these heavy real-world topics.
Yeah, they aren't reckless about it.
Not at all. News Court includes a very prominent responsible disclaimer that explicitly states AI can make mistakes, always check original sources.
Which is such an essential piece of media literacy right now. I mean, they are aggregating the news for convenience, but they are actively reminding the user to maintain their own critical thinking.
Don't just blindly trust the machine.
Exactly. And they are pushing that critical thinking even further by curating incredibly high-level tech discourse.
They really are. They are linking out to the A16's podcast network featuring deep dive discussions with pioneers like Fei-Fei Li.
They're putting discussions about embodied intelligence and the quest for AGI right next to the local weather.
Which is wild.
Okay, we actually need to unpack those terms for a second because that is a massive leap from a local bakery listing.
It definitely is.
Right.
So AGI, or artificial general intelligence, is essentially the holy grail of computer science.
Right.
It's the theoretical point where a machine can learn, adapt, and think autonomously across a wide range of domains exactly like a human being, rather than just being programmed for one specific task.
Like playing chess or writing an email.
Exactly. And then you have embodied intelligence.
Right. What is that?
Embodied intelligence takes that AGI concept a step further, arguing that for AI to truly understand our world, it actually needs a physical body.
Wait, really? Like a robot?
Yes. It needs a robotic form to interact with physics, space, and consequence, just like a human toddler learned by knocking over a block.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they are taking a user who just logged on to check the hours for Dixon 76 and putting them one click away from the most advanced speculative computer science in the world.
It's brilliant, but the site doesn't even stop at practical AI tools or theoretical tech podcasts.
No, it goes further.
The technology seems to serve as a launchpad for something much stranger and much more conceptual. We move from the tangible dirt of Hawaii to the technical reality of AI, and finally to the completely abstract.
Yes, the third pillar of this platform. It moves entirely from utility into visionary exploration.
Which is where things get really eclectic.
They do. They incorporate grand abstract concepts and artistic alliances
Yeah.
that seem almost completely out of place at first glance, but actually serve a very specific purpose.
Right, because the site dedicates entire sections to grand geopolitical vision.
Like the concept of a future United States of Africa.
Yeah. And there's another section simply titled A New and Better World, focusing on concepts and philosophies for future generations. It's incredibly broad, sweeping ideology.
And you might wonder, why feature the United States of Africa on a site dedicated to the big island of Hawaii?
I certainly did.
Well, it is the ultimate rejection of geographical constraints. It's a signal to the reader that while we are rooted here on this island, our intellectual and moral concerns must span the globe.
I love that.
And it marries that ideology with a very eclectic artistic sensibility. For example, the platform features a musical and artistic alliance with a Hawaiian recording artist named Blue Turban Stone.
Right, and this alliance heavily features the use of something called a busui guitar.
Yes, the busubi guitar.
It's described as this innovative 21st century double-sided instrument. And honestly, I have to ask, why feature a double-sided guitar on a site that sells real estate and aggregates ChatGPT? What is the point of that?
Well, think about the metaphor there. A double-sided instrument requires you to play two different ways, perhaps simultaneously.
Oh,
You have to understand two different sets of strings to make harmony. It's the perfect physical manifestation of the site's dual nature.
because it's fiercely local on one side and radically global and technological on the other?
Exactly.
Hmm.
It represents the harmony of those two extremes.
That makes a lot of sense. And alongside that music, you have what the site calls lyrical fragments.
Right, these philosophical, poetic, almost cryptic phrases scattered across the platform.
What's the function of those?
Those fragments act almost like mental palate cleansers. I mean, when you're transitioning from reading about the struggles of indigenous populations to testing a prompt on Claude to looking at housing prices, your brain needs a break.
Yeah, that's a lot of context switching.
It is. So these poetic fragments provide a moment of pause. They force you to slow down and interpret something subjective before you move back into the objective data.
But even with the metaphors and the palate cleansers, I really have to ask, does mashing up local hula dancing, AI boardroom subscriptions, double-sided guitars, and global peace manifestos actually work for the everyday user?
That's a question.
Or is it just pure digital chaos?
This raises an incredibly important question about how we consume information today. On the surface, yes, it looks entirely chaotic.
All chaos.
But if you analyze the mechanism of how we actually browse, it deliberately and perfectly reflects the messy, multifaceted nature of the internet itself.
How so? Like, how does it reflect that?
Well, traditional websites build walls. You go to a real estate site for houses, a tech blog to read about AGI, and a poetry forum for art. They force you to compartmentalize your brain.
Right.
The Big Island Reporter erases those boundaries. It operates on the premise that you, as a complex human being, are deeply interested in your local neighborhood, and you are actively worried about global AI trends, and you appreciate weird, innovative art all at the same time.
It proves that our online interests are nonlinear.
Exactly. By presenting it all in one mosaic, it mirrors the actual, authentic experience of surfing the web.
It's like a microcosm of the entire internet existing on one single page.
Beautifully put.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. Building a custom AI aggregator, hosting avant-garde music, and maintaining local real estate databases takes server space, and server space costs money.
It absolutely does.
If this isn't some massive corporate venture, how on earth is a guy in Kona footing the bill for all of this? I mean, to sustain this wild digital mosaic, there has to be a revenue engine.
And there is. The platform relies on a brilliant, surprisingly old-school technical workaround to fund all of this.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They have a unique advertising and business strategy specifically designed to circumvent modern ad blocking software.
Oh, wow.
And it relies entirely on the architecture of how the site itself is built.
Right, the site relies heavily on things called iframes.
Yes, iframes.
And for those who might not be web developers, an iframe is essentially a window cut into a web page. You aren't leaving the Big Island Reporter, but you are looking through a portal at another, completely different part of the internet inside that little box.
That's right. The Big Island Reporter is constructed out of all these different portals.
And that specific architecture enables their ad blocker workaround. Let's walk through how this cat and mouse game actually works.
Let's do it. So, when a local business wants to buy advertising space, they create their promotional content.
Right.
But instead of uploading it to the site as a standard banner ad image, which modern ad blocking software immediately recognizes via specific image tags and kills before it even loads, man, the advertiser's content is embedded into a Google Docs presentation.
That is so clever.
It is. That Google Doc presentation is then served on the website through one of those iframe portals.
And the genius of it, the reason they can explicitly market to these local businesses that their ads are unaffected by ad blockers, is that standard ad blocking software is looking for known ad networks or specific code associated with commercials.
Exactly.
It doesn't recognize or filter the Google Docs format. The blocker just sees a document loading, so the ad slips right through the filter and is guaranteed to be seen by the user.
It is a fascinating, low-tech loophole, outsmarting high-tech filters.
Seriously.
It ensures visibility in a highly crowded, highly filtered digital ad space. And what's great is that they pair this scrappy workaround with very transparent, accessible pricing.
Oh yeah, the numbers are right out in the open. The current rate for an advertiser to use this loophole is $500 per year, and that actually includes a second year entirely for free.
Which is a great deal.
And there's a little detail in their strategy that I love. They offer a $100 cash discount if you pay them directly via PayPal. It just feels so wonderfully direct and unfiltered.
They also have those specific tiers we mentioned earlier for the real estate agent.
Oh, right, the features cube.
Yeah, to get into that features cube with your housing listings,
Mm.
it ranges from $500 for a year up to a $1,000 tier for what they call premium switch listings. They are monetizing the local utility to fund the global AI access.
It's essentially like sneaking a commercial billboard into the background of a movie scene.
That's a great way to think of it.
Your fast forward button, or in this case, your ad blocker, has no idea it's even there because it just looks like part of the scenery.
Yes.
It's clever, it's a bit rebellious, and it perfectly fits the overall ethos of a site that clearly refuses to play by the normal, sanitized rules of the modern internet.
But what does this all mean when we pull the lens back and look at the big picture?
Yeah, where does this leave us?
Well, the Big Island Reporter is not just a news site, and it's certainly not just a local directory. It is a completely unique digital portal.
Truly.
By aggregating local real estate listings in Kona, providing boardroom-style subscription access to global AI models, and offering grand abstract visions of a united future, it serves a very specific, vital purpose for you.
It saves you the immense hassle of piecing together these diverse internet niches yourself.
Exactly. It curates the chaos so you don't have to.
It does the heavy lifting of connecting the dots across the entire spectrum of human interest. And that leaves you with a final, perhaps provocative thought to mull over today.
Let's hear it.
For the last decade, we've been told that the internet is about hyper-personalization. We are fed content by algorithms designed to isolate us in perfectly curated, highly sanitized echo chambers where we only see exactly what we already agree with.
It's a real problem.
But if a single, quirky platform run out of Kailua Kona can successfully map the hyperlocal coffee shop directly to hyperglobal artificial intelligence and abstract philosophy, maybe the future of the internet isn't the algorithm at all.
That's a fascinating point.
Maybe the future is actually a return to these eclectic, chaotic portals, places that flat out refuse to categorize us and instead force us to bump into the unexpected, the weird, and the wonderful.
A place where the phone book and the quantum computer can comfortably and meaningfully share the exact same page.
Exactly. Keep exploring, keep questioning the boundaries of where you get your information, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.